Welcome to the Futur3 Podcast. Boom, boom, boom. I'm Sean.
I'm Shaylin.
And I'm Cyan.
And we are the Futur3 Podcast.
Most people building a career today are told to go big, go national, and even go global. Today's guest did the opposite. She went deeper into one neighborhood than anyone thought was possible and built a multi-million-dollar real estate empire doing it. She is an award-winning, top-producing real estate broker serving the Chicagoland area with over 20 years of experience in sales, marketing, negotiation, and public speaking. She speaks professionally across North America, teaching real estate agents how to leverage social media, build thriving businesses, and create lasting brands. She also teaches yoga and bar, golfs, gardens, and lives with her Siberian Husky, Coral. Born and raised in Chicago and still there, please welcome to the Futur3 Podcast, Mrs. Kate Newey.
Welcome.
Hello. Thank you, gentlemen, for having me. It's so happy to meet with you. I love your podcast set. Let's dive into it.
Yeah, thank
All
you.
right. Thank you for joining us.
All right, so let's talk about your dog, Coral, your Siberian Husky. Does he ever make it into your content?
Okay. She is a star. In fact, she was recently a star of our 80th historical pet parade in our local hometown. So she's obsessed. She's camera obsessed. She loves to love on people. She loves to get pets. She loves to ride in the car. She loves to go for walks. Basically, anywhere we're going, she's going. She's just not allowed to go to listing appointments or buyer consultations because she sheds everywhere, and we have to keep the husky hair contained to our home or outside. But otherwise, she's a doll. And fun fact, we actually drove all the way to Utah to rescue her. So she is our baby and we love her.
That's awesome that she just loves the camera and she's like camera ready at all times.
Oh my gosh, people are obsessed with Coral. In fact, clients, friends, people all over the town are always asking, how's Coral? How's she doing? She's a star.
Does she
That's so
ever
awesome.
show up uninvited into some of your work calls or content?
100%. 100%. Right now she's with my husband in the basement, but she'll pop up, she'll howl at the most inappropriate times. She doesn't bark. She's like a wolf, husky, right?
Yeah.
So she howls. She is adorable.
That's awesome. And I just want to take a second and go back to high school Kate in Chicago.
Let's
And
go.
you were born and raised in the city that you still call home still decades later. And there's teens that just, after they're done with their schooling and growing up in one area, they just want to leave. So I'm curious to know, what was it about Chicago that made you want to stay all your life?
My gosh. Well, I think it's a bunch of things. I think it's the perfect blend of, you have the city, you have the hustle and bustle, you have the vibrant downtown nightlife and restaurant scene. I think Chicago is one of the best restaurant scenes in the world. When you see the skyline and then you look back, it almost feels like Miami vibes because you have this incredible skyline. You have beaches. A lot of people don't even know Chicago has these incredible beaches. There's a great beach scene in the summer, whether you want to be chill or go to the dog park, or you want to party and club and have the house music on the beach, like with the drinks flowing, and whatever your vibe and your scene is, there is a beach for that. So it really truly feels like the ocean because Lake Michigan is so big that you cannot see any land on all three sides. It's just the Chicago shoreline and then all ocean as far as the eye can see. And then obviously gotta love the Chicago Cubs, classic, historic, grew up going to Cubs games with my dad. And then, of course, the Bears, you gotta love the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
So I'm just so happy to be here and thriving in a community that I've been a part of my whole life and with my kindergarten sweetheart, my husband. So we have a good time.
That's so
That's
cool.
awesome.
And I mean, all of us are Philly fans. So, I mean, we can't really agree with you on the sports side of it, but Chicago seems like a great city. I mean, you have so many different parts of it that you just really never need to leave, technically, from what I'm hearing. So, I mean, it's everything
Yeah.
pretty
Oh,
cool.
exactly, right? We even have Broadway in Chicago. Like it's really, really unique, eclectic, and there's something for everybody. And it's all inclusive. It's everyone's welcome. I always feel safe. I've again been born and raised here, and as long as you're, just like aware, street smart, which you should be anywhere anyway, right? You're fully present. Be where your feet are, right? You're fully present where you're at. I've just been blessed to call it home forever.
Do you feel like the pizza's better in Chicago or New York?
Well, the funny thing is, if you're a Chicagoan, if you're native, we don't do deep dish all the time. We just take the tourists to go get deep dish. So deep dish is more of a touristy vibe. So like true Chicago pizza, like pan Chicago pizza, I'm
I
obsessed
love
with.
Kate pizza.
Yeah, right. Like so good. And then you can also get like that pub like thinner crust too. Yeah, Chicago is known for its all different types of pizza. But to answer your question, I mean, I gotta go. I'm from here, Chicago, but I'm not gonna turn down a New York slice when I'm up at you guys. So
And I mean, you've been in the industry for about 20 years now, right? You have 20 years of experience in sales, marketing, negotiation, and even public speaking, which is a pretty specific combination that you don't just find anywhere. So back in high school, were you kind of the person who was on the debate team or on someone that could easily sell other people and things or like get anyone to do anything? Was that the kind of person you were? Were those traits showing up early?
So no.
Oh,
Where I got the gift of gab and the gift of communicating and the gift of negotiating and the gift of, being able to go into a room, command a presence and help people figure out and dial in what exactly they want to do, how they want to do it, and then how I can be of service to help them was from my background in theater. So I'm a theater kid, actually. Like I
yeah.
didn't do debate team, I didn't do speech team, but I loved theater. I loved dancing, I loved singing, and I love acting. My weakest point of the three was acting. I am not a great actress. In fact, I never got the lead in a high school play. I never got the lead in a musical. I was always like background singer number 4 or like, like Sister Maria number 76, right? Like I was always in the background, but I would go all in with that character. I remember there was this one play I was in called Rumors, and I was a police officer. And you guys, I had 2 lines, okay? Like I was like nothing. I literally was in full police officer outfit and I had 2 lines, but you better believe I delivered those 2 lines like my life depended on it. And I brought that comedy to it and I just loved it. And so ever since then, I just loved being, in front of people and entertaining. And that's a big part of what we do in real estate is we're educating people on how to buy a home, how to invest, how to sell their house, but we're also entertaining when we're on social media and we're building that community and that presence of why would people want to work with you? Well, you have to entertain them and educate them at the same time to have your personality truly shine. And if you can master those 2 things together and marry those and really deliver, people are going to connect with you and people are going to hire you because of the fact that you are confident and you are, again, authentic and you are showing up as yourself.
Yeah, and you mentioned confidence, and our dad always tells us like confidence is always 90% of the battle. Because if you're not confident, then you're not going to sell any clients.
Exactly. Showing up with that confidence because you have to sell certainty. You have to come and show that value of what's in it for them. Because if I just went into a sales meeting or a listing presentation or a buyer consultation, using real estate examples here, and I just talked about myself all the time about why I'm so amazing. Here's my past sales. Here's how I'm number 1. Here's how I'm the best. That's all about me. And nowhere in there did I make it about the client. I just had a listing appointment with my husband this morning and then came here to do the podcast with you guys. The listing agent didn't ask how many homes I sold. They didn't ask how long I've been selling in that particular neighborhood, but they saw that I sold their neighbor's house for multiple offers in a weekend. And they're like, I want that girl. How'd she do it? I got to get her in my house and talk to her. So she didn't care about my resume, but she cared that I showed up. I gave her advice on what she should do. I didn't tell her, oh, you got to do this because I'm the best and I know everything. I ask her questions. I'm sure you guys ask about Coral. She just showed up to say hi. I don't know if you can get in the frame, Cor. But basically, you guys, like, I'm sure you've heard this. Maybe you haven't. Have you heard of this? The person asking the questions is the person in control of the conversations. Have you guys heard that saying before?
No.
Okay. If you remember anything from this podcast we do together, that is my gift to you that I wish I knew when I was your age. The person asking the questions is the person in control of the conversation. I mean, what are we doing right now, right? We're on a podcast. You guys have questions prepared for me. You're the one driving the conversation because you're asking the questions, right? So same in a sales meeting. I'm not just going to go and talk about me, how I'm so amazing. I'm going to show up to that sales meeting and I'm going to start asking them questions so that A, I understand their true needs and wants. B, I can uncover anything that maybe will help me close them at the end of the meeting. And C, I want to get them talking about themselves. I want to get to know them so that I can bring areas of like, oh, yes, absolutely. I totally get it that you had to take your dog to your mom's house so he wasn't jumping all over us in the meeting. My dog's the same exact way. Now we have a mutual point of connection. Now we just bonded a little bit. Now we've added that extra layer of, oh, you're kind of like me. Okay, got it. And what was the first thing that my client this morning told me about what she looked me up on my website? And she goes, oh my gosh, I just saw your vibe and I just knew I could instantly like connect with you. And I was like, that's my girl. Like I got to hire her. So you guys are going to attract, no matter what business you're in or where you go or what you do, you're going to be selling something. Again, maybe it's yourself, maybe it's a product. So bringing that confidence to every conversation, every time you show up, it's being of service. It's not, I know everything. It's how can I help you? Like, I've already vetted all these people for you. Let me take that off your plate. Let me save you some time. Let me save you some stress.
Yeah, and I mean, growing up in the Chicago area, do you feel like that kind of gave you a little boost to your confidence in terms of like the comp and comparing it to the competition around you? Because like, I mean, you've literally grew up around these areas. Do you feel like that just makes you more confident when it comes to talking to a potential customer?
Absolutely. But I also think the opposite is true. I also think if my husband and I were to decide tomorrow that we want to go move to a new city, I would just do everything to learn everything about that city. And I would just deliver, I would be like the news anchor, right? So I'm not from there, but I would just deliver the news of wherever I'm going now. And I'm now that trusted source of information for people because, oh, Kate has the inside scoop on this. Because I would then use my networking skills to go build connections, to go talk to people who might know of things before you hear about it on the internet or before a sign goes up in the yard. It's because I've built these relationships and I'm talking to people.
Yeah, exactly. And you take all that great knowledge into college. What were you studying in college?
So nothing to do with what I do now. What I studied in college was dance. And then after dance, I decided, well, I don't really think it's in the cards for me to be a professional dancer. I want to really like switch gears a little bit. I thought I wanted to be a professional ballerina and it wasn't in the cards with me for my body and my health. So I switched gears and I was like, well, you know what? I'm an athlete, a dancer. You know, I have issues with my body. It would be so cool to help other dancers, other athletes with their bodies. I'm going to go switch schools. So I transferred from the University of Iowa to the University of Illinois, Chicago, UIC, downtown. And I was like, I'm going to study sports medicine. I'm going to be pre-med. Let's see how this goes. So I was actually pre-med. I was taking all these fun anatomy courses and something in me was just like, I think there's something more of, what I want to do. And so that led me into the next phase of my life before I even got into real estate. And that was I became a personal trainer and I started teaching fitness classes. And then before you know it, that entrepreneur in me opened up her own gym at 22. And my first one failed so hard, but my second one was bumping. And then the next one bumping. And then before you know it, I was teaching other entrepreneurs how to open up their fitness studios and be successful. So I've always been an entrepreneur at heart. And I feel like you have to have those skills in any industry you want to go in, whether you are working for a corporate position or you are starting your own business, just to be able to have that understanding of how a business operates from every part of it and really understanding that before you start hiring out and bringing people into your company, you have to understand how it really operates and works, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I believe you have to fail more than you succeed to grow. And so all the failures that I had taught me and made me the person that I am today because I was able to take those lessons and use them to be even stronger and go even farther and build all these incredible pieces of this real estate company that I have now.
Exactly.
So
Failure is kind of just like a learning lesson, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
it's not like a negative thing. Like, there's no such thing as negativity. It's just a learning experience. So I find that quite interesting how you were able to kind of take your failures and also not only take those lessons for yourself, but kind of spread the word and share your lessons with other people, which is something that I really admire.
Thanks, guys.
And you eventually met your husband, Dan, in college, and you guys now lead a real estate team together. So what made the company work? Because most people wouldn't even want to work with their spouses in a business.
Exactly. So we reconnected after college, but we actually met when we were 5 years old in kindergarten.
Oh,
So I've
wow.
known him since I was 5. But again, our paths went away and then they came back together. So we reconnected at our 10-year high school reunion, and we've been together for over a decade ever since. And what I think works about it is the fact that we're both passionate about what we do. We both love serving and helping our clients, and he's my best friend. So we find it more enjoyable and we find it more fun to do things together. And it's not perfect. We disagree often. We have very different styles with money and running a business, and with, risk tolerance, and with scalability and marketing. We have definitely black and white ideas, totally different ends of the spectrum. But when we're able to come together, that's when the true magic happens and we really thrive. Because again, I'll use this morning as another example. We went on the listing appointment together to go try to get a seller to hire us to sell their home. And the power in Dan and I doing that together is extra magical, because I'm not for everybody, Dan's not for everybody, but between us, we kind of know who would vibe more with the client when we're there. And then I know to scale back my language and he can really step up and talk a little more. Or if I know the person at the dining room table, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, let's say it's a couple, I know the husband is the driver and he's the one making a decision, and he would really like to hear from Dan because their personalities match or their brains work the same way. I'm not an analytical. I'm more of a creative. I'm a visionary. I'm a marketer. I'm a negotiator. I'm like, let's make things happen. But Dan is the practical boots on the ground. He knows everything about a house, inspection. He knows like, oh, that extension cord goes to the well over there. And like he knows everything about houses, and he's very analytical in his approach. And so he resonates better with certain people. So that's been really fun working with my husband, because even though we're vastly different human beings, we play to each other's strengths and allow each other to shine in those moments when, oh my gosh, Dan's got to close this. I'm going to step back and be quiet and let him take over and do the close, or vice versa. So yes, it's been a challenge, but it's been a blessing, and I wouldn't have it any other way. And at the end of the day, he's my best friend and our marriage comes first. So we have had multiple hard conversations. Like, we will never let the business come in between our marriage. Like, it will always be our marriage first.
That's awesome.
So what is one rule that you guys have that keeps the business from consuming your relationship?
Ooh, great question. One rule we have that keeps business from consuming our relationship. Well, I got to tell you this. At the beginning, we weren't the best. Like, it was just work, work, work all the time. And especially when you own your own business, it's 24/7. Right now, we really are working on boundaries. We really are working on taking more time off. We really are working on having more date nights. We both love to golf. So we joined a club and we are golfing more. We joined a club that's national. So now we're able to golf with clients. So again, work, but still play, because when you own your own business, you never know where the next deal or important network connection is going to come from. So you just have to be, open to all possibilities all the time when you run your own business. So to answer your question directly, we weren't the best at it at the beginning. It was really hard. We were heavily working, and I don't think there's any such thing as work-life balance. I think it's not a 50-50 balance. I think there are going to be seasons in your life where you work a little harder and seasons where you can scale back and relax. But I think the most important boundary we've put in place, you guys, is making time to golf with each other, making time for date nights, and then making time to travel where it's not just about work. Because we go to a lot of real estate conferences, I speak a lot. And so us planning travel trips that aren't just about work have been important as well.
Yeah. And you've built your brand by going hyper local, but everyone else says
Yeah.
that you should always go big, but you did the opposite and you still won. What did you see going deep into this one community that most people miss?
Have you guys ever heard the phrase jack of all trades, master of none?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right? And you can still be a jack of all trades. There's nothing wrong with being a jack of all trades, right? But you can be a jack of all trades and still be a master of one thing. So instead of jack of all trades, master of none, I like to say, be jack of all trades, but be a master of one. Okay. So what I decided to do is be a master of my hyperlocal community that I wanted to dial in on. So when you niche down, what happens is you're able to become magnetic to your people. You're able to become magnetic to the people who want to work with you. And you're able to become magnetic because now people that come to work with you are your dream clients, you guys. So when I dialed in to what I was truly passionate about, which is the western suburbs of Chicago, I really wanted to focus on the western suburbs because being that expert, being that master of one, they're going to go to you, see you as the expert, and then you're going to get way more business that way instead of just like the generic brand. But at the end of the day, if you really can build a business of clients that you love working with, that light you up and that are clients for life, right? Like, I'm not a transactional realtor, you guys. I don't want to just do one deal with you. I want to do 2, 3, 4 deals with you. And then I want to help all of your friends and family forever. I want to make sure that when you're on that journey of like, hey, Kate, we're ready to find an investment property. Can you help us? Hey, Kate, we want a lake house in Indiana. Can you help us find the best one? Or, hey, Kate, we want the lake life and we don't know whether to go to Indiana, Wisconsin, or Michigan. Who do you know who you can connect us to that can help us? I want to be that go-to person. So yeah, you guys, like when you niche down, when you're that master of one, you're that true expert and you're just really going all deep into one lane. I'm sure you've heard like stay in your lane, right? Because when you try to go off course, life has too many shiny objects. You could get distracted over here. You can try different things all over the place. But when you dial into what lights you up and what brings you alive and what makes you feel the most yourself, that is when you're going to resonate, become truly magnetic. And then you don't have to go seek sales. The sales are going to come to you. You guys have never paid for advertising in my whole real estate career, not a dollar. Like everything's organic, everything's word of mouth, everything's social media, and everything is referral based. So it's all based off of me just making content, showing up, doing the things I love, talking about the places and things I love to do, the people I love to support, and then the business comes to me from there.
That's awesome. And we always love to ask this question to our guests because we get so many different and amazing responses. So, what is your definition of success and how has it changed from your high school days to today?
High school days, my definition of success was, just having all the things, right? Like having a husband, having a house, having the kids, having the white picket fence, being able to have freedom of, your time and not having to work all the time. That was the definition of success in high school. And I think how it's shifted for me is it all comes down to happiness because you could have all the money, you could have the husband or the wife or the kids or the house, and you could still not be happy. And I don't think you can truly be successful if you're not happy.
That's so awesome. Like, you don't want to be consumed by the work all day, which is like, I mean, completely understandable. And that's a pretty unique definition of success.
Yeah, YOLO.
YOLO, let's go. Is
All
it
right.
too? Am I such an elder millennial by doing peace signs? You guys don't throw peace signs anymore, right? That's like not.
I feel like it's kind of dead, but
It's dead. Yeah. So you gotta teach me these things. Okay.
All right, so it's been a great conversation with you. We've learned so much from your journey. So now it's time that we turn the tables. Do you have any questions for us?
Oh, absolutely. All right. Each of you answer rapid fire is my request. What are you most passionate about right now, like in this era of your life?
right now, I'm most passionate, and in this time in my life, I'm most passionate about helping high schoolers just find out what they want to do
Cool.
because I feel like that's just a common issue in the current generation.
Yeah, exactly. And same with me for that, but I also love building, like building objects, building furniture and all that.
And I'm most passionate about sports business because I love the sports industry. I'm a huge sports fan. And I just want to see what that business is like.
Oh, I love it. I love it. All right. Can I ask you guys one more question?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Oh,
In 10 years, I'll be 26. So I'll be done with college. I'm going to hope that I'm able to have traveled a lot, like just been able to travel the world, experience different cultures,
just as you said, also with your definition of success, just not be strapped down to a desk, just be able to explore because there's so much out there. It's absolutely insane. And I'd really love to just explore all that.
For me, in 10 years, I would like to see myself like keeping this lifestyle, having a great family, and just enjoying my life.
Oh man. So in 10 years, I see myself probably just jump starting my career with all these new experiences that I've added to my life and my vision. So yeah.
I love that. Well, thank you guys for building and creating this podcast and having this be a space where you can continue to educate and inspire and just present all these options for people that they may not know even existed or was possible. And again, like when I was in high school, like I shared with you guys, like I thought I wanted to be a professional dancer, and like look how everything has just weaved its way here. And now I'm happier than ever. And I'm so grateful for everything you guys are doing for the future generation. And thanks again for having me on the podcast today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Instagram, Threads, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, all the social media platforms. We'll be there. We are the Futur3 Podcast, and we out. Peace.